Hi, I'm Herro. I'm the Vice President of Environmental Affairs for Meritage Homes, and I wanted to take 5 minutes to walk you through what I'm sitting in here, which is a Sustainability and Energy Efficiency Learning Center. We built this for realtors to help them understand all the changes that are happening both in existing homes in the retrofit towards better energy efficiency and in new homes and things builders are incorporating into their building process that really add value to your customer. But what is really important with what we're going to walk through over the next 5 minutes is that it's not about all the widgets. It's not about low E2 coatings and LEDs. What it's about is how these things translate into benefits for your customers and how your ability to differentiate between really substantive, better built construction and maybe flashy marketing can help you differentiate yourself in a marketplace that's changing very quickly to incorporate some really good building practices and some that are quite honestly a little bit more marketing. So I'll walk you through some of the main things that are changing in homes today and how they benefit customers. Because ultimately what this is about is getting your customers more, getting them better value, getting them a more comfortable home, and getting things reduced that don't add any benefit. Like this particular home has a different type of insulation and it reduces the heating and cooling cost by 50%. So it makes the home more comfortable. It actually makes the home healthier. But the main thing is it cuts your utility bills down with all the things in this particular home by 50%. And so these are things that help a customer either stretch and buy a larger home, get more amenities, in a new home, get more upgrades in design center, and their monthly cost of ownership can actually be less. So let's walk through some of the basic components that you'll see out there, from windows to lighting to appliances, and talk about what really helps your customer live better and some things you should understand and ask questions of from existing homes and other new homes to make sure your customers get the best home, and importantly for you, make sure you've got the tools to be a resource for your customers so that whether they're buying a new home or they're thinking about reselling their existing home, they look to you to help them navigate these issues. The easiest part of understanding benefits to your customer through better green features like appliances and lighting and windows is those things. One of the more difficult parts is the construction practices employed by the builder of the home. Whether it's an existing home or a new home, the construction practices, although it's a lot more difficult because it's hidden inside the walls, are a critical point to understanding how that home is going to live, how much that home is going to cost the buyer, and really the quality of the home left when they go to resell it. So an example here, this is a cutout of a wall system, and the framing system is just the way this wall is built and insulated reduces the heating and cooling cost by 50% in this home. And that's because this home is built with polyurethane spray foam, and the wall's got a staggered frame and thermal break. This polystyrene underneath the stucco acts as insulation, so it's got a continuous layer of insulation. This is orientated strand board, which gives really good structural rigidity. This is a 6-inch wall cavity, so there's 6-inch stringers on either side of windows and doors, which make it a very strong, less prone to cracks, vibrations, and shifting wall structure. And then the framing between this is staggered so that it actually has a thermal break like in the windows, so less heat can come through in the summertime and less heat can escape in the wintertime. Why I tell you all this is that it's really important because not only is this home going to resell better, last better, be more durable, but it's going to be much more comfortable to the people living in it. By sealing the home, having a lower infiltration value, this home is less drafty, it lets less dirt and bugs in, it's more comfortable, and importantly, when you go out and you finally sum all of these things together and think about what is this home costs to operate in utilities and gas and water in comparison to a conventionally built home or a 10-year-old home or a 20-year-old home, this home with all of its components will consume half the water and half the energy. And a big piece of that is this shell. You'll hear new home builders talking about the thermal envelope, and that's how it's framed, how it's insulated, how the windows are, what sort of drainage plane, what sort of additional components are wrapping this house that separate the occupants in their conditioned home from the outside environment. And it's really important to understand, is it 2x4 on 16? Is it 2x6 on 16? Is it 2x6 on 24? This is a hybrid staggered frame, energy efficient wall. So understanding the construction of the wall, the type of insulation, is a big piece of understanding how this home will perform and how the home will live throughout the lifetime of the home while people occupy it. And what's really important about that is homes that outperform the expectations of the buyer means you're going to get better referrals and you're going to have a customer for life. A home that promises a bunch of things that doesn't deliver means you're going to have an unhappy buyer and you're not going to get those referrals and you're not going to get that second swing at selling that home and continuing on with that buyer as a customer. I mentioned it, so I wanted to take a quick minute to talk about changes in insulation inside of wall cavities and inside of attics. It's not as relevant to the retrofit market because it'd be very expensive to tear down the drywall to get to the wall cavities to spray in polyurethane spray foam and replacing old fiberglass insulation. But in the new construction market, this is really becoming something that is changing the way new homes work. And the reason it is when you put in polyurethane spray foam, it expands. And then when it expands, it gets in and it wraps electrical boxes and it wraps around plumbing and it wraps around wires. And what it's doing is it's better sealing and better filling the walls in the attic with insulation. So it's better quality of filling the cavity, but importantly, spray foam doesn't allow air movement. And when you seal in all those nooks and crannies and details and you stop air movement, you're stopping the uncontrolled movement of conditioned air out of your home and the uncontrolled inlet of outside air with dust and bugs and pollution back into the home. So this makes a home cleaner and healthier. It makes it much more comfortable because you're not getting hot and cold spots around leaks. And this alone reduces heating and cooling costs by 50%. So in places where either as an option or as a standard, builders are going in new construction to spray polyurethane foam insulation, it's a tremendous difference in the way this home will live and a tremendous reduction in the heating and cooling cost of a home. So it's important to understand how much you'll save over a 30-year mortgage versus the option cost, if it is an option, in potential new homes. Because this, when it's included like we do, is a tremendous saver of energy and a tremendous cost reducer in the operating cost of a home. And it makes a home more comfortable and healthier and really improves the quality of life of the people living in these homes. One of the best things about all of these components is they distill themselves down into very fundamental things like savings. All the features we talked about today, better windows, better lighting, most of them translate into energy savings every month. And so whether you're looking at a new build with new energy efficiency features included in the construction practice, or you're looking at a home that's retrofitted itself to include better energy efficiency in the windows and the HVAC or renewable energy, that should be readily available in one of two ways. One, in a new home build, there should be a third-party certification that gives itself a Herro score, a Home Energy Rating Service score. And that should demonstrate the percent of energy saved every month in the operating of the home, and that should be able to be translated into dollars every month that is reduced from a comparable home without those features. And one of the unique features of a home with renewable energy, such as this one, is you actually will normally have two meters. It's called net metering, and one is tracking the consumption of energy by the users, and the other is tracking the production of energy. Now, the bill that you receive every month is this minus this, but the nice thing about this is when we looked at other possible solar panel configurations, this is exactly what you need to know to understand, with all the various types of solar panels out there, what the value is of the solar system, because this will tell you every month how much energy it produces in savings.